My soul bows to you. Namaskar. Namaskar everyone, and welcome to our morning meditation practice. This is a 21-day series that is geared towards total well-being. We are on day 5 today. Yesterday we spoke about the power of attention and intention. Of course, we know that we need to be attentive to whatever we are doing. What it does, though, it brings the mind into focus. And the mind is very powerful. It's the most powerful part of your being. Whenever you bring your mind to anything, you bring your attention to anything, you're holding it in the energy of the mind. The mind is a pranic field. It's a field of energy, power. So if you hold your body in your consciousness with your mind, you are holding it in a place of power. There's some practices where we become totally still in meditation, like in standing meditation, the Wu Chi practice. Just holding the body completely in attention in a particular posture can bring tremendous energy to the body. Just holding the body in attention. So during your entire meditation practice, it is important to stay attentive. Bring your mind to everything you're doing. Of course, everything is happening in a field of consciousness. And we have spoken on day 2 about the consciousness experience. Always stay aware of your conscious being. Everything is happening in your conscious being. And we spoke yesterday about the power of intention, and of course I'll speak about that more in future sessions. But every time you create an intention, you are tapping into that infinite power of the universe, that field of infinite consciousness that holds all of existence. You are tapping into it. Every time you create an intention, you're beginning to generate energy. In the yoga, it's called Ichha Shakti, the power of will. Every time you generate that Ichha, that will, you are generating energy into the field. So every thought you create, every emotion you generate, every the vital energy behind every action, it's energy in motion. So we need to be very aware of our intentions. In our practice today, I want to bring to you, or to your attention, multidimensionality. When we think of multidimensionality, or think of every aspect of our human experience, we think of spiritual. That's the field of infinite consciousness. We think of mental. We think of emotional. We think of vitality in the core being of the body. We think of physicality. Attention needs to be given to every aspect of being. But I want to bring to you ancient wisdom here that deals with what is called your subtle body. You have a gross body, granted. Our physical senses inform us about this gross body and its experience. But you have within this physical body a subtle body. And this can be experienced. In fact, you are using this subtle body throughout all of your human experiences. The goal is to recognize it to become conscious of your subtle body. But what I want to say to you is that yogic wisdom gives us a precise idea or concept or teaching on multidimensionality. And it's based on what we call chakras within us, chakras in our subtle body. Of course, we'll develop the subject more, but I want to stay with the idea of multidimensionality. So I'm going to point out that to you today, and it must always be in your awareness during your meditation. Here, the brain and the spinal column is important. And you know, in spiritual work, brain and spinal column is always important, or in energy work. In your brain, there are two main spiritual centers, or energy centers. At the crown of the head, it is a center of infinite consciousness. It is the point when we open the brain to fullest capacity. We have this experience of infinite being in the body. So this is one point that we'll focus on in the meditation. But ultimately, at the center of the eyebrows, focusing on the center of the eyebrows brings you into the mental plane. Inside of the brain, that is connected to the center of the eyebrows and the medulla point at the back of the neck at the brainstem area. That is where the mental chakra is, the center of mental power. As you begin to go deeper in your meditation, you will actually feel that as an experience, not gross, but as a subtle experience. So mind is a subtle experience in your being. This is the most powerful part of you. Your mind is energy, and your mind drives everything. It drives the senses, it drives your action. So attention has to be given on the mind and mind management. We discussed the training of the mind on the third day. Now, along the spinal column is important. It takes us into more multidimensionality. The throat area. Throat area represents space, the consciousness of space. And it's associated with hearing and speaking. So communicative consciousness. So throat area is important in the multidimensional experience, because it's where we come to bring this experience, or come to the experience of spaciousness, listening to infinite space. Involves hearing, speaking, and spaciousness in the consciousness, infinite space. So that's another level of multidimensionality. Heart center at the chest is associated with feeling, touch, emotion. And this is a very important aspect of being. Gut area and gut center, navel area, navel chakra, is associated with vitality, firepower in your core of the body. An extremely important area for revitalizing the body. And then in the multidimensionality of yoga, ancient wisdom, we have the reproductive area, reproductive power, sexual power, and that's an important power that's used for total well-being. So attention is given to that in the meditation practice as well. And going right down to the perineum area at the root of the spine, we have what we call the root center there that connects us to the gross physical body. So all of these are subtle centers that influence every aspect of being. Subtle center means it's not in the physical body. It's in a subtle body within you. So in the meditation, whenever you begin to feel that that sense of lightness of being, as though the physicality is on the periphery, it's fading away in the distance, and you begin to feel this lightness of being on the inside, this floating feeling, this feeling of buoyancy. You're coming into your subtle body. We'll speak about these bodies later on, because you have a gross body, you have a subtle body, you have what is called a causal body, and these feature in your consciousness experience. So today, the idea would be focusing on your multidimensionality. So every level of being, giving attention to it, taking your consciousness there, and taking your breath there. Why do we take our breath there? And I'll speak about this more in another session. We take our breath there because breath is energy. Not just the action of bringing air and oxygen to the body, but bringing life force into the body. That's called prana. So today, I want you to begin to observe more clearly your multidimensionality. Infinite consciousness in the brain center, the mental field, mental power, mental consciousness at the eyebrow center, spaciousness at the throat, listening power, feeling at the heart, and the sense of touch. Gut power and vitality into the gut. Reproductive power, sexual power, and root power. So in the meditation, I'm going to guide you to these areas, and I would like you to use your meditative breathing, the Ujjayi breathing, where we contract the epiglottis in the throat, and we get this beautiful sound, this meditative sound. We use that to connect to these centers along the spine. So spinal column awareness is important. Brain awareness is important. This makes meditation extremely exciting. As I've said before, meditation is a preparation for a new day. That's why we have this morning meditation series. It prepares you for a new day. So let's focus now on the practical aspect of today's subject. Join me now in a meditative experience, focusing on multidimensionality. First of all, like in all meditations, we bring our attention into the present moment. Just be here and now. No past, no future, only now. And give attention to your entire being. Today's subject is multidimensionality in the consciousness. Just hold the consciousness of well-being and breathe into that. Belly breathing. Total body awareness. Total being awareness. Total present moment awareness. And keep the mind completely silent, because we want to observe all the experiences in our meditation today. We're going to actively use the breath with the Ujjayi. We are going to bring these subtle energy points or chakra points into focus, and we're going to focus on multidimensionality, which is all about total well-being. Learn to create a silent, alert, and attentive mind. Silent, alert, and attentive mind. And use the breath, because breath connects us to every level of being and brings the harmony of breath and prana there. So we'll begin by observing the consciousness space and holding the consciousness of infinite being. No limits, no borders, no limitation of all patterns of thinking, no limitation of thought. So we want a thought-free space, but completely alert and attentive to the experience. That's a way of also de-stressing the body when you come into a place of complete freedom in your mental space. So the mind is not creating stress at any level. And use the breath. As you observe that mental space, just breathe out completely, taking your attention down the spinal column, right down to the root, so you can connect to the earth. And breathe away every bit of mental stress that might be there. Just let go. And breathe in slowly and deeply into a silent and peaceful mind in infinite consciousness. Now remember, when you breathe out, when you expel the breath, and you breathe out completely, that allows you to breathe in completely. So learn how to push the breath out gently, rhythmically, and then slowly and deeply breathe in. And you breathe in by focusing on the spinal column and the brain, so that you can cover all levels of being. Perineum center, sacral center, reproductive area, navel center, gut area, heart center, chest area, throat center, throat area, mind center, center of the eyebrow, and the medulla, focus at the back of the neck. As you breathe in, take your attention up the spine. As you breathe out, take your attention down the spine. So the consciousness should be on your entire being, observing the experience. And your intention should be total well-being. Revitalizing your body. And here your nervous system at every level becomes boosted, energized. Now, with the breath, let's go to the center of the eyebrows. So we bring focus to the mental space. Back of the neck, focus, center of the eyebrows. Master the breath. Push the breath out. Pause for a moment and pull the breath in. This is a brain energizing experience, which we'll discuss more. You're bringing prana or life force to the brain cells. There's more sharpness and focus in the mind. And there's more control over the thoughts. And here you have an opportunity to experience what we call chakra awakening. The awakening of the subtle power of the mental energy center. Focus on the center of the eyebrows and back of the neck. Remember once again, when you expel the breath in a controlled way, you can breathe in deeply in a controlled way. So you need that rhythm of the breath. Push the breath out and then pull the breath in gently. Listen to the sound of the breath. That brings the mind into a more peaceful space. So this is the mental field. Become more acquainted with it. It's the most powerful part of your being. You want to begin every day with a peaceful experience in the mental space, a stress-free experience, an alert and attentive consciousness. So you are influencing your brain here in the physical body. And pineal and pituitary glands in your endocrine system. Nerve cells are being recharged. This must feature in every meditation as a principal centering practice. Mental centering, brain recharging. Focus with me. Relaxed and gentle focus. No force that is unnecessary. Work with flow. The more you can master the breath, the more you can master the energy. So attention needs to be given to breath control. Now let's add the consciousness of space, the sense of hearing. So focus on the throat area now. And that's why you're making this ujjayi sound. So it's easy to focus there. Throat area, back of the neck, and mental space. So you're adding the consciousness of infinite mind, infinite space in the mind, and infinite hearing, subtle hearing. Hearing is also a subtle power, not just a gross sense, it's also a subtle power. So you can hear in the inner space, you can hear the mind. Learn to enjoy the ujjayi sound. It's so soothing, so peaceful, helps you to master the energies. It's called a victory breath. So again, consciousness of space, heightened sense of hearing, listening to the inner space, to the silence. And that's another aspect of your being, or another level of your being, the throat consciousness. And now let's come to the chest, center of the chest. And here we come into feeling consciousness, emotional consciousness. Breathe out and in into the center of the chest. Let go of any emotional tension that might be there, as far as you can, just by breathing out and unburdening the emotional area. And when you breathe in, open up to the most elevating emotional energy, loving being. It's a most important aspect of meditation. Center in a space of loving being in your consciousness. That's our heart center focus. So breathe with this ujjayi sound at the center of the chest. Unburdening as you breathe out, and energizing with the energy of loving being as you breathe in. It can become a very powerful practice. I like to give my hands liberty for this because I can feel my palms and my hands becoming warm. and they become floaty, and there I'm able to feel the gracefulness of the heart in motion. The breath comes into a wonderful rhythm as I open the heart. A gentle, comfortable, comforting rhythm. And the palms become warm with subtle, with life force. It's a good place to stay in the meditation. That loving being, it connects you with the rest of you. It's the beginning of unity consciousness with the field around you. So the sense of touch becomes heightened. This center is connected to the element air. So the lung becomes energized. And we begin to enjoy the air element and associating with it as we breathe out and breathe in. There's this beautiful experience of the breath. So in normal practice, you can stay here for as long as you like, because it's a very nourishing, energetically, area. And then let's go down now to the belly. This is a very interesting area, as it brings you into the core vital power of the body. So it brings you more into body consciousness. Remember, when you breathe out completely first, then you're able to pull the breath deeply in. So always focus on breathing out first, and with the force that is required or necessary. So breathe out slowly and completely with the belly, allowing the belly to contract. And then breathe in slowly and deeply, opening up the belly, and open it up fully. From way down the sacral area to just beneath the rib cage. Open the abdominal area fully. Solar plexus area. And here you begin to feel the power of the gut. The gut area has a huge nervous system, and here you're able to boost that nervous system. So immediately you can feel the effect on your mind and the entire nervous system. Begin to observe the joy of that experience of revitalizing the body. So this is a very impactful area on your well-being. And now take your attention right down to the sacral area, reproductive area, sexual area. You just breathe into that area, into the area of the sacral chakra just above the sexual organ. And you center in the eyebrows as you do that, the center of the eyebrows, that you bring the mental center firmly there. So you're breathing down into it from that mental center, and you breathe deeply into this center, sacral center, with mind focus. And that's how you bring the vitality of that center into your whole being. Your mind power allows you to tap into it. And then you can, as you breathe in, focus on the heart. So it allows you to bring that sacral center power into nourishing your being. By focusing on the combination of that sacral area, your heart center in the chest, and your brow center in the brain. These three in combination work magic in your being. Stay with an effective breath practice. In time, you'll go deeper into the energy experience. So here you're really creating more awareness of total well-being and multidimensional awareness. And finally, we're going to go down to the root center, right down in the perineum area. So begin to go into a perineum focus. As you breathe out, take your attention down to the perineum, and as you breathe in, gently contract the perineum. As you breathe in, and open the belly as you do, focusing on navel power. So here you focus on navel power, sacral power, and perineum power. So it begins with mastering the breath exercise there. As you breathe out, take your attention down the gut to the perineum. And as you breathe in, take your attention to the sacral chakra and navel area with a held perineum in the in-breath. And then you relax the perineum in the out-breath. And this brings the joy of really grounding in the body. So you're heightening the sense of sight here at the belly center, firepower of the belly. You're heightening the sense of taste here, sacral chakra, water element, and you're grounding in the earth consciousness. Now this is the practice of multidimensionality. This is a necessary practice for total well-being. Meditation for total well-being. If you observe how you feel, you're much more balanced at every level. You're much more conscious of every level. So here we'll close our meditation. Using the power of affirmation, that we may strengthen the consciousness using the power of intention. I center my consciousness in that infinite source within me, the God within me. That source of infinite peace, love, goodness, wisdom, and vitality. I stay centered there with my intention that my every thought, word, and action in this day be a blessing to my world. I give thanks for all the blessings I've received, and I pray to continue to be worthy. Om. Peace. 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 So thank you, everyone. I hope that you had a very fruitful meditation, that you feel much more balanced it is work in progress. So the more you practice, the more you will have this great experience. But this is how I love to start my day. And this is how I love to stay during my day. Meditation is a practice that carries over in all that you do. Everything that you're going to do now is going to have that consciousness that you developed in your meditation. So I want to wish you all blessings for this day. That you continue to stay in that higher awareness. You continue to stay conscious of every level of being. During these 21 days, I'm going to guide you to continue to be conscious of every level and learn how to tap into that infinite power that lies within you at every level of being. It's exciting. So have an exciting day, everyone. And I see you again for the meditation on day 6. My soul bows to you. Namaskar, everyone.